you guys are tough. You try to get some pretty good stuff out of me. So, but you're really good, and you're good for college basketball. So I appreciate you,
Coach. We'll have to have you back when the coaching carousel is going, and we'll have to do some PR spins for you here or something.
Whatever you need,
whatever
Coach.
you need, we're here for you. All right.
Not on your life. Not on your life. I won't be on.
Michigan at Ohio State this weekend, the game of the year in college basketball. I obviously spend a lot of time talking about Ohio State on this program. I'm very proud of my alma mater. We don't get the perspective much of those degenerates up in Ann Arbor, Tate. So we figured, what better man to give us an idea of what's going on in Michigan than the greatest coach in program history. John Beilein is joining us now on the program. Coach, first of all, where are you? Where is life taking you these days? Where are you living? We see the Michigan basketballs behind you. But yeah, where are you right now?
I'm in Ann Arbor. We never sold our house. When I went to Cleveland, we were going to wait a little bit to buy a house, and when we had to make that career change, we just sort of came back here, and we love Ann Arbor. So it's good. We're still my granddaughter's here, my daughter's here with my granddaughter and my two grandsons. So it's good here in Ann Arbor.
He's a Michigan man through and through. Coach, we got to start here. So Juwan Howard obviously takes over for you, has taken what you have built, put his own spin on it, and has had just as much success, certainly to this point. I mean, obviously, we got to give him time to make some March runs and Final Fours like you did. But so far, what we're seeing from Juwan Howard is, I'm sure he has your stamp of approval. And can you just give us an idea of you've done this before? You've obviously taken over as a coach at different programs. How hard is this? What is the most impressive thing about this? Because of the track record of guys taking over for legends, and you are a legend. I won't hesitate to say that. The track record of guys taking over for legends in college basketball is not great. So what has been the most impressive thing from your perspective on what Juwan Howard's done this year?
I think he's, I've got to know Juwan for many years. He was one of the many alums that reached out to me. And, I think what he's been able to blend really was, listen, it ain't broken here. We don't have to fix a whole lot, but I want to put my own identity on it too. And he's done that. I mean, watching the games, there's some things that he did that those guys were really accustomed to with us. And then he's put some great wrinkles in it and really done a wonderful job. So I love his demeanor on the sideline. I love the staff. He kept not only Sadie Washington, but strength staff and everything. He's done a great job of blending what we really believe and putting his own identity in there.
And Coach, you still have players that are on this Michigan team currently, like Isaiah Livers, that you obviously coached and went to a Final Four with, and some of these players. So how much of a connection do you have just being in Ann Arbor and seeing these players that you know so well, and they're still thriving under, Juwan Howard? And it seems like you're tied to the program still, which is really cool.
Well, I think it's that's a slippery slope a little bit, because when you leave a program, they don't need two coaches in their ear. Yep. And so I make sure that I text them after some really good games, maybe when they need a pick-me-up, when they went through the pandemic pause. I hit a couple of them. But this is Juwan's team now, and this is not my team anymore, and I want to make sure that they hear those voices, the really important ones. But, Isaiah Livers and Eli Brooks and Austin Davis, and then the juniors, Brandon Johns, and then I've known Franz Wagner, since he was in ninth grader.
Yep.
And so, he's done a great job there. And some of the other kids we recruited as well that are there right now, Juwan has taken them in, or he finished the job recruiting, and it's turned out to be a great team, especially when he added the two seniors, the two transfers who are just hungry to win. They've done a great job with that.
Coach, we were talking off air before we started on the show, obviously, that the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry in basketball is very different than what it is in football. In football, the hatred is there. It doesn't matter who's won last year or how many in a row. When they're playing this year, they're at each other's throats. And we were discussing, like, when you took over Michigan, it was my sophomore year on the Ohio State team, and I don't remember ever really thinking Michigan was a rival. And I don't say that in a taunting way. We just we had a good thing going with our program. Yeah. You guys were trying to figure it out. I guess what my question is how do you perceive the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry in basketball, because we know Michigan State is your true rival in basketball. So, like, what is your sense on where the rivalry was when you were there, where it is now, where you think it's going, that sort of thing?
I just think it's tough to have a rivalry like you have in football when you could play them 3 times in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it still doesn't mean you could lose 3 times in a year and still win the national championship. So it's a different dynamic to it. But I guarantee you this is that our fans up here in Ann Arbor, when Ohio State comes in the building, there's no love lost there. And I never felt any love in Columbus, not one time. So I think our fans get it, but it's not. With football, it is really determines your success that season.
Mm-hmm.
And it does not determine the success. So we're playing Michigan State every year, twice from now on. That's part of the schedule. We're not doing that with Ohio State, but the game still means a lot because they're 2 great programs without question.
And Coach, how hard is it? Because Titus and I, one of the stupid things that we do on our show, we like to label schools either a football school or a basketball school. And obviously, you know the rivalry, we know the history between Michigan and Ohio State football. But, like Titus mentioned, I mean, you got the Thad Matta era. There's a lot of Final Fours, and a lot of good basketball there. Then you guys in 2013, you're right there on the precipice. 2018, we had a great time with that run as well, Coach. So We're just going to ask the question: Is Michigan a basketball school at this point? I think so.
You are not getting me to answer that question. You know what, Michigan is the greatest university in the world, and their athletic department is second to none, and that goes with every single sport. So that's the answer I'm going to give you. Every time. Well, hey, let me ask you a question. Is North Carolina a football school now or a basketball school?
We're getting close, Coach. Hey, Mac Brown's getting us close. I'm fine with it. I might take it up. I'm okay with it. Sam Howell for Heisman.
Oh, man. Coach,
I got you. Mac Brown is a great job.
Coach can run for office with answers like that. All right, we've been dancing around it, Coach. So a few years ago, this is I want to give you a little backstory. So when we started this show, we had a young man who was a basketball player. He reached out to us, said he was a senior, about to have his senior season on a basketball team, and he wanted some help because he might eventually get into sports media, and he wanted to just kind of pick my brain. And I talked to him and gave him some advice, whatever, and said, I like that guy. I'm going to watch him this year. That kid's name was Duncan Robinson. And so Tate and I got very excited because in the 2018 season, Duncan Robinson, to our knowledge, he was the first ever player who was actively playing college basketball who listened to our show. So we got really excited about it. We were going to follow him all year. And somewhere along the line that season, I think it was around January, you decided to not start Duncan Robinson. You decided to put him on the bench and start a freshman Isaiah Livers, who was averaging about 3 points a game. This enraged Tate and I. We were not happy about it.
We thought it was about us, Coach.
Yeah,
we thought that you heard that he was listening to us.
We were so mad. We were like, who is this Isaiah Livers kid? What's going on? So Duncan graduates. He's obviously become the best shooter in the NBA. He's unbelievable. He's going to make all-star teams. It's just a matter of time. So I guess my question, Coach, is would you like to apologize to the listeners, to Tate and I? Like, what happened? What was going on there?
Well, here's the true story about it. Here's the true story is that, and we just had this on the Big Ten Network, that over the 8 games against high-level player, this is an amazing stat. Over the first 8 games that year, he was shooting less than 20% from 3. Oh, wow. Less than 20%. So he was pressing himself. He was really not. He was like not hunting shots. He was questioning everything that he was doing out there. And so we just said to him, he's mad at himself. I said, I'd rather have him get mad at me. And so we made that flip. He actually played just as many minutes, and he shot, listen to this, 41% the rest of the year, 41% from 3. So sometimes you just got to make and he was the 6th man of the year in the league. And we went to the final 2. So it worked out all right for everybody. So I'm sorry it made you mad, but sometimes coaches got to improve their team. And him coming off the bench became a major reason why we were so good that year.
Dang, I got nothing. I got nothing. I wasn't expecting them to have numbers like that, Tate.
Yeah. You got us, Coach. Sounds like you were right. And Coach, you happen to be in this great position right now, at least from our vantage point, where you are sort of, able to look in, from your own vantage point, check in on a lot of different programs, obviously have the relationship with Michigan still, but you can survey the college basketball landscape. And, we're not going to ask anything specific about, your plans in the future, but just in general, how nice is it to just kind of take a seat back and watch all these different teams and figure out, play styles that you like, or, figuring out, kind of what you may see for the future of college basketball in general.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this. I've said to several people, I'm in a sabbatical. Whether I get back to coaching or not, that's a whole nother story. But I'm in a sabbatical. This has been a great time for me to just sit back. Here's what you probably need to know. Any coach in the Big Ten or any coach anywhere in the country, I guarantee you, Roy Williams is not on a Saturday at home watching a Big Ten game that he's not going to play anybody. He's getting ready for his next ACC game. We don't watch other conferences. And that's why conferences get so much alike in style. We just watch each other on video over and over again. So you don't really get to study. And now I've been able to do some of that, or just really look back. And I've done 3 Nebraska games, and I feel like I really know Fred Hoiberg right now, what he's trying to accomplish. Then I've done Minnesota, Penn State. I'm just watching these things, and it's really unique that I can do this and really learn. I know I've improved as a coach in this offseason without question.
So you say you like it now, but let's fast forward to this spring when guys start getting fired and John Beilein's name is coming up for literally every single job in the country, and people are throwing out your name.
It is true, Coach. You are the hottest name in the country. Every program wants John Beilein.
Have you prepared for that, Coach? Like, in all honesty, how do you your phone's gonna be blowing up, whether it's athletic directors or it's like newspaper guys or like, we heard this rumor that this booster, we were tracking your flight. Are you prepared for flight trackers? People are gonna be tracking every move that John Beilein makes from April till May, like the March, April, May window. Are you ready for that? Like, you can't relax.
I'm very relaxed right now. I'm just trying to do the best I can do. The best I can do to be a guy like you, to be able to have all these Twitter followers and be a great resource for college basketball. Sort of a guy that really the smartest guy in the room, like you guys. That's what I want to be like. Coach, really be able to say all these very, very intelligent things about the game. Coach,
I got a tip for you to build your media brand then in that regard. You should do what Juwan Howard did, where in August, I think he put out a statement that he said, I actually had it written down. He said, "There is a report of my name as a potential candidate for NBA coaching opportunities. While I am flattered and I know it will more than likely happen again, I am not exploring, seeking, or listening. I'm the coach of Michigan." I think you should do this for college jobs. I think you should put out statements unsolicited and just be like, "I'm flattered that some people want me to go coach at Duke.
Noise.
Yeah, I'm hearing noise that people want me to take over for Coach K. I'm not interested, you guys. I'm not interested." And then it becomes like a story about how many times you're saying,
humbled, honored.
I'm not interested in Kentucky, you guys, please.
Oh man, I'm not going to go any further on that one. You guys have got further along with me than anybody trying to get really what's in my head out of me, because I got all kinds of things going on here. But I love doing this media.
Back to this Michigan team right now. I think one of the unheralded heroes of the rebuild. No, it's not a rebuild because you left the program obviously in good standing. But this Juwan Howard era is Phil Martelli, a guy who was the St. Joseph's head coach forever. Is now an assistant on Juwan's staff. He was smart enough to get a guy like him, who's a veteran, been a head coach, won a ton of ball games.
Yep.
Again, we're definitely not asking what the future holds for John Beilein, but you have been a head coach your entire life. That was always a fun little trivia nugget about you, is that you were never an assistant. Does any part of you, maybe potentially hypothetically, look at Phil Martelli, talk to him a little bit, and say, like, maybe that's like a fun little role where I don't have the pressure of being a head coach. Maybe I try an assistant role somewhere where I'm kind of helping a guy out here and there.
Yeah, I will tell you this. That Phil Martelli, Juwan's made a lot of great moves, but Phil Martelli is one of his best, without question. And it was so ironic because when Phil left St. Joe's and Juwan, and I knew they were interviewing Juwan, and Juwan and I were talking, I was going to tell him about Phil Martelli, and he asked me first, "What do you think of Phil Martelli?" And it's really worked out well, without question. and then obviously kept Sadie Washington, who was really a champion. Somebody do the work on Sadie Washington and see every program he's involved with wins and wins big. You know, so I don't know Coach Presley very much, but I do know that those guys, they have done a great job there. And but I do not think that the assistant coach at that level is what is in the cards for me. That's for sure.
Head coach only.
I can qualify that right now.
All right.
No, we love that. That's a scoop right there, Coach. That's all we need.
Yeah, our show got a scoop. John Beilein
Coach Beilein will be a head coach.
Yeah. Hey, how about this? Here's an idea. You and Coach Mata, who I played for Ohio State, also is in the similar boat. Like you guys had great runs, by the way. I mean, we should point that out. We're talking Ohio State, Michigan. The two of you, it was so fun to watch you guys coach against each other. Maybe you and him and Bo Ryan, you guys just start like a coaching consulting firm where you just help guys out. Like you're coaches for hire, just like for one game, you do some scouting here and there. That would be awesome. That'd be something there.
Yep. No, I really have. I have a lot. I have several. I don't know what the number is, but it's 6 or 7 now. A couple guys have got let go, but head coaches, the former assistants or players that are head coaches, and I love just doing that with nothing to lose. You mentor guys, or they call you after a game and you talk through their game. I'm watching games on my phone. Oh, they're ahead at half. Oh no, what's happened? Or I watch them. You really get in. You really pay attention to all those things, and so anytime anybody can talk to Bo Ryan or Thad Matta, right, about basketball, open up your ears and listen to everything they say, because they've won everywhere they've been and incredibly storied careers as well.
We've let you get away with some politician answers here on this interview. We're gonna put you on the hook this time. Before you go, give us a prediction. Sunday, Michigan, Ohio State. How do you see it, Coach?
The crowds are, without, are they letting people into the game in Ohio State?
Not really.
What's going on down there? Any fans there?
Well, Coach, if you know how it is at the Shot. Does it matter if there are fans there or not? It's going to be quiet.
Yeah. So we didn't win there very often, but they just went to Purdue and won easily, and they went to Wisconsin and won. We didn't win there. I don't put anything past Michigan right now because of the veterans they have on the team. However, Ohio State has great veteran leadership too. Chris has been in the league now for 3 or 4 years. Juwan's team is rolling. It's going to be a great basketball game. I just hope it has all the excitement, right, of those games that Thad and I had. That were incredible games for so many years there, so many years. And so it's going to be a really tight one, I think. Michigan hasn't been in a lot of tight ones. Ohio State has. That could be a factor, but I don't put anything past Michigan right now. They could win out. They could actually win out. They're so talented.
Unbiased opinion, Coach. We'd love to see it. Thank you so much,
Coach. We appreciate you making time for us. I hope your prediction is not true. I hope
it is, Coach. I'm going to be pulling for the Wolverines. I'm right there with you. Coach of the Year, Juwan Howard.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. You guys are tough. You try to get some pretty good stuff out of me. So, but you're really good, and you're good for college basketball. So I appreciate you,
Coach. We'll have to have you back when the coaching carousel is going, and we'll have to do some PR spins for you here or something.
Whatever you need,
whatever
Coach.
you need, we're here for you. All right.
Not on your life. Not on your life. I won't be on. So see you later.